and how to manage things. And that is the big struggle that goes on at that time. The constant struggle that is going on, a constant struggle between a sense of wellness and the disease. This is the challenge, the dichotomy that we are dealing with. The dichotomy is the duality. And this Dvaita, the duality, is where the whole fear response comes in. One of the ancient scriptures in India, called the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, tells us that from duality springs fear. So when we get scared, when we have the fear response, what happens is the whole stress response or the stress reaction kicks in. And as a result of this kicking in, we start to weaken our immune system. We dampen our immune system. Yoga, on the other hand, is trying to induce and educe from within the relaxation response, which strengthens. It is strengthening our immune response. The relaxation response strengthens the immune response, whereas the stress response dampens and weakens the immune response. And we all know when our immunity goes down, every small microbe gets a chance to attack us. So the way out of this, the yogic perspective, is strengthen from within. So the psychosomatic disorders that are stress related, in the yogic concept, they start at the psychic phase. The psychic phase is where you are not at ease with yourself. This then percolates down, psychosomatic. And psychosomatic is where now there are those temporary fluctuations in the body. Your blood pressure goes up, your blood sugar goes up. All of these type of acute stress responses are there. And if it is not controlled, it goes into the soma, the body, and it becomes a permanent disease. And then the final stage is the organic one, where the actual end organs, the target organs, get damaged. So coming back to it, what is very important for us to understand is that we are the master of our immune response. And this mastery comes when we can work from our own cortical level. So let's try to understand where this comes. This all comes from a base of the emotionality, which is your limbic system. The limbic system is where the whole pressure is coming. What is going to happen to me? Why is it going to happen to me? Will I survive? Will others survive? What's the world going to be like? And this emotional volatility is where then the whole stress comes down and the immune system is dampened. Now what yoga says is, be like the eagle that when there is the storm, flies above the clouds. Don't hide under it in the bushes, but fly above the clouds and transcend it. That is the concept that yoga says. So what is above the emotionality? It is our prefrontal cortex, the neocortex, where we have the power of choice. This is the region where the power of choice comes in. We get a chance to actually be the master of our destiny by making choices in the present moment. And these choices are based on vairagya and viveka. Viveka is the capacity of higher discernment, and vairagya is metacognitive objectivity. So when we use this part of our toolbox, the prefrontal cortex, the Ajna chakra, what we are doing is that we are constantly trying to attenuate the stress response from top down. So instead of reacting, we start to respond. And this is done by certain attitudes. What are these attitudes that yoga is telling us in the philosophy and the psychology? One is basically the yama niyama. The yama and niyama of yoga, they are very vital in this whole concept, because the first of the yamas itself tells us that non-violentness, non-harming. So here the concept of not harming ourselves and not harming others comes in. Similarly, Satya, Asteya, all the Yama Niyama are coming in. And a very important one of the Niyamas is Saucha. Saucha, which is cleanliness, purity. And in these times, it is very, very vital that we need to understand the importance of cleanliness, purity. And people are talking about hand washing. Well, not just hand washing, we have to wash the whole inner and outer aspects of our being. We need to wash out this sense of fear that is making us react rather than respond. A couple more of the attitudes that are discussed in the Yoga Sutra include the concept of mudita punya. So here there are 4 attitudes that are given by Patanjali: Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, Upekshanam. But of those, I want to focus on 2. One is mudita punya. There are a lot of people who are out there at this moment fighting for humanity. The frontline health workers and all the supporting people who are there. We need to be the cheerleader. That is the mudita punya attitude that Patanjali is suggesting. And the second is karuna, or compassion and empathy for those who are in dukkha, those who are suffering. That is the second one that is required. So out of the 4, these 2 especially are very, very important. And then there are many people who, despite all the evidence, are going wherever they want and behaving in an irresponsible manner. And Patanjali says, upekshanam. He says, you have to be indifferent to such people. You have to avoid them, because otherwise you are just going to aggravate the situation. So Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, Upekshanam. And those who are at ease with themselves, that is the whole purpose of this whole gathering online, is that you start to have a sense of friendliness with those who are trying to be at ease and maintain that swasthya or swast, which is a sense of health and well-being. So keeping this in mind, we can go to a concept called Kriya Yoga that Patanjali has given, which is Tapa, Swadhyaya, Ishvara Pranidhana. And Patanjali tells us that the Kriya Yoga is the antidote to the whole kleshas. So I say the Kriya Yoga is like a triple vaccine. People are looking for a vaccine for COVID. We need to have the triple vaccine from within if we are to deal with fear. So what are these? Tapa is often explained as penance and austerity. I prefer to use the word discipline. Tapa means intense discipline, self-discipline. And this is a time in human history where we need to be as disciplined as we can be. That is the tapa component. The second component is swadhyaya, which is introspectional self-analysis and often also defined as scriptural study. We need to use this time to introspect. What is it that we as a human being are expected to do and be at this point of time? How can we rectify it? What is it that can be done? What is it that cannot be done? Accept that, which you can, accept that which you cannot change, and change that which you can. And you have to have the capacity to know what you can change and what you cannot change. All of this comes from Swadhyaya, which is introspectional self-analysis. And then comes the third component, Ishvara Pranidhana, which is to give over to the greater sense of the universe. This is basically the equivalent of Bhakti Yoga. And we have to transcend the small I and understand that there is something much, much bigger, and we need to grow into that. And this is where the concept of the Bhagavad Gita, which is do your best and leave the rest. The Tapa and the Swadhyaya component, having discipline and introspection, well, those are very much a self-effort. The Ishvara Pranidhana concept is where you let go. So do your best and leave the rest. That is the concept that is coming in here. And through the practice of Kriya Yoga, what we are doing is we are attenuating and we are downgrading the fear, the survival instinct. And as we clear ourselves out of this, we actually become more of what we can be. So with a few of these concepts in mind, what I wanted to do is give you a few practices that can be done today. And these practices are basically working on three ways. One is that we need to modify our perception of the stressor. Two, we need to optimize our response to it. And then the third, efficiently release the stressors that are causing the stress. Remember, nothing can stress you unless you let it stress you. So we actually need to work from within on that. So keeping these three concepts, what we can do is that we can understand that we can just decide that I am not going to hold on to things. So how do you stop holding on to things? By letting go. So let us let go a few things in a few of these practices. The first practice is called Nasarga Mukha Bhastrika. And what we are going to do is we are going to shake our right hand. Then we are going to shake the left hand. And now you start shaking both hands. Giving a nice shake, a very beautiful shake so that anything that is clogging up our system can be unclogged and unblocked. Now shake as fast as possible. Your fingers should be going as fast as light so that you don't even see them. Give a good shake, a nice shake. Now take in a deep breath and hold all the stress, all the fear, all that negativities, hold it tight, take in a deep breath. And then throw it out with your might. What we are doing is we are making a gesture, a mudra, where we are saying, I don't want these tensions, these negativities, and we are consciously saying, let go. The let go is coming from here. And this is the prefrontal cortex part of us, which is saying, let go. The emotional part of us, the limbic system, the survival instinct is saying, don't let go, hold on, hold on, hold on. So we are going against that. We are letting go. And this is where we are adopting what Patanjali calls Pratipaksha Bhavanam, the contrary attitude. Instead of holding on tight with the fear, we are letting go. Okay? So let's shake again. Shaking both the hands, giving yourself a nice shake. Shaking is waking, shaking is cleaning, cleansing. Let's clean up stuff, cleaning up things in you, around you, up and down, giving a nice cleanup. Now shaking as fast as possible. Catch hold of all the negativities. Take in a deep breath, hold them tight, and throw them all out. Excellent. Now this is called Nasarga Mukha Bhastrika. We have breathed in through the nose and blasted out through the mouth. So it's a, and this is a explosive letting go. We are saying to the universe, I don't want to hold on to it, and we are dissipating the tension, the stresses. Now, these anxieties tend to store in three places. One is the abdominal area. The second is the chest, and the third is the upper chest and the throat neck area. These anxieties down here are primarily performance related. Will I perform well or not? These are more related to emotionality and relationships. And this is more related to status and who we think we are, how special we think we are. That bloated ego, you know, basically that one. So 1, 2, 3, there are three areas we want to clear up. And for this, we use nada, sound, the sound vibration to make the bhavana shuddhi, cleansing the attitude in an active way, a kriya. So it is called nada bhavana shuddhi kriya. So what we are going to do is we are going to be making a sound. So ha, 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 ha. So the sound ha is for this abdominal region. Ho, 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 for the chest region to let go. And up here, he, 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 he. So ha, ho, and he. Three sounds we are using. We then want to become conscious of this brain stem, the back of the head, right below your occipital hard bone area. And here is very much that me part. I need to survive at any cost, that me. So it's a me, 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 me. So we awaken ourselves to it and we tell that survival instinct, be careful, I'm watching you, I know what you're doing. And then we work on this prefrontal cortex, which is the higher buddhi, the higher capacity to think in the bigger picture. And we go, the. And then we throw it all out, we say, po. Or if you want to say, go. And you throw it all out. Okay? So join me as we do this. Okay? A few rounds of Nada Bhavana Shuddhi Kriya. To let go of anxieties and all the stresses that are bogging us down. Ha. Ho. He. Me. They. Go. Ha. Ho. He. Me. They. Go. Ha. Ho. He. Me. They. Go. Go. And that way, you let go of the anxiety. I'm sure all of you who are watching this and participating, if you have been doing it with me, definitely you have a smile on your lips. Definitely your heart feels a bit more free and definitely a bit more open. This opens us up and this enables us to let go, because the more junk you put into your system, the more you become a junkyard. And we are not meant to be junkyards, okay? We are meant to be human beings. So it is so important to let go. And these sounds, they open up the channels. It is like when you want to dust something, you use vibration to clean it. Similarly, we are cleansing ourselves and we are letting it go. We are adopting a positive attitude, a positive bhavana. And that is why bhavana shuddhi. We are cleansing the attitude, because the attitude of fear, the attitude of survival is never going to let us be free. It's going to bind us. And that is why a very beautiful prayer is there, which is the Maha Mrityunjaya mantra. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtir Vardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mokshiyamamritat. Om. This Maha Mrityunjaya mantra is the ability for us to transcend fear of death. Because it is that fear that kills us. Death only kills us once. Fear kills us many, many times. And the Maha Mrityunjaya enables us to totally let go of it. And that is why this mantra, we can also then extend it using the bija sounds. The bija sounds are Hrum, Jum, Saha. Hrum, Jum, Saha. And what we do is that split the Maha Mrityunjaya mantra into two components, the first and the second half, two lines. Insert the bija mantras in an ascending and descending pattern. So, Hrum, Jum, Saha is the ascending, and Saha, Jum, Hrum is the descending, the Loma and the Viloma component of the mantra. And in that, we can invoke the protection for all the beings using the concept of Sarva Nakshatre. Nakshatra, the nakshatras are the stars that we are born under. Sarva means all. So people born under all the constellations, all the stars. Sarva Nakshatre, Sarva Rasi, all the zodiac signs, people born under all the zodiac signs, and Sarva Nam Desya, those having all the names. So we can bring all of this together. And so in the middle of the mantra, we say Hrum Jum Saha, and then we say Sarva Nachatre, Sarva Rasi Sujat, Sarva Nam Desya, Sahajum Hum, and that ends the Bija component, and we continue the mantra. A very beautiful mantra. Just listen as I chant it. I'll just chant it once, and if at the end we get time, we'll chant it a few more times. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtirvardhanam Om Jum Saha Sarvanachatre Sarvarasi Sujat Sarvanam Desya Sahajum Hum Urva Ukamiva Bandhanat Mrityor Mokshiyamamritat Om. This mantra enables us to overcome this anxiety that comes out of the survival instinct so that we can become truly ourselves and respond as we should. Now, there are many pranayamas that can be done, and one of the most important of the pranayamas is the pranava. The pranava is a universal vibration, and the Indian culture, the Hindu culture saw it as Om, whereas it was seen in the Christianity as Amen, and in the Islamic tradition as Ameen. All have that similar vibration, just seen by different people in different ways. It is said that the truth is one. The Vedas, the Rig Veda tells us, Ekam Sat, Vipra Bahuda Vadanti, that the different minds have seen it differently. So we are going to be using the pranava, which according to Maharishi Patanjali is the vibration of Ishvara, the cosmic being, the universe itself. And the three components, the sound of A, which is Akara, U, Ukara, and Makara. Akara, Ukara, Makara. And we will then bring it together in the Omkara, where the A, U, Ma, all three components come together, unifying the lower, mid, and upper parts of the lungs, the lower, middle, and upper part of this body, the physical, the subtle, and the causal layers of our existence, and also the primitive reptilian brain, the A, the mammalian limbic brain, the O, and the prefrontal cortex, the human brain, the bringing it all together. Performing the Chin Mudra and placing your hands down on your laps, taking in a deep breath, breathing out, focusing on the lower part of the lungs. Again, breathing in. Once more, breathing in. The second component, the Chin Mudra becomes the Chinmaya, binding yourself into the consciousness, placing the mudra down on the thigh, focusing on the middle part of the lungs. Breathing in. Breathing in. Again, breathing in. Now coming to the third component, the Adi Mudra with the thumbs in the center of the palms and closing the fingers around it, bringing it down onto the thighs, the Adi Mudra, focusing on the upper parts of the lungs. Taking in a deep breath. Again, taking in a deep breath. Once more, breathing in. We have performed the Akara, Ukara, and the Makara, the three components, low, mid, and high. Now we bring it all together. And the two Adi Mudras are brought together, knuckle to knuckle, and placed at the navel. And here we breathe low, mid, high, and then we make the sound A, U, and M. Breathing in. Breathing in. Once more, breathing in. This Pranayama enables us to harmonize the old reptilian complex in the brain, the mammalian and the human parts, bringing them together, harmonizing our low, mid, and upper parts of the lungs, the three parts of the body, and the physical, the subtle, and the causal layers of our existence. It produces a wonderful sense of oneness, wholesomeness, and that oneness and wholesomeness is where health lies. Health cannot be there when we are in pieces. Health can only be there when we are at peace with ourselves. When we have broken into fragments, we have to defragment ourselves. We have to restore that interconnectivity between each and every one of those trillions of ourselves. That is so vital if we are to be ourselves. I will close this session at this point, but if there are some questions, I'd be happy to take them. And once we have gone through a few questions, we will end with 3 rounds of the Mahamrityunjaya mantra chanting again, wishing for peace and well-being and health for everyone. So if there are any questions, it would be good to see any questions if there are there. Okay. So what we will do is we will close the session using the Mahamrityunjaya mantra, and well, questions can always be sent to me by email or on Facebook and others. But I think this is a wonderful opportunity. The Health Flix has brought together more than 100 amazing leaders in the field of health and wellness. At this time where humanity doesn't really know what's going to happen the next moment, we're having an opportunity to focus on health and wellness. I think this is so essential that this is happening. It is really, really so wonderful that this is happening. I was asked about the bija sounds. There's a question. The bija sounds for the Nada Bhavana Shuddhi are the Ha, which is an HA for the lower part, HO, the Ho for the middle, and He as in HI or HE, depending on how you want to pronounce it, but it's pronounced as He, more like an HE. And then for the back, it is more an ME, as in me. D is a DHI, and then go as in GO is a method that is used. This is an adaptation of these sounds. For the pranava, we use the 3 sounds A, which is the A sound elongated, A. For the mid chest is an U, which could be an O or a U elongated, and the and M, which is elongated, and then the A, U, Ma, the three components coming together to produce the Omkara, which is very much part of it. Yes, I think the question is the three sounds part of the, which are part of the Mahamrityunjaya. Hrum, Jum, Saha. H-R-O-O-M. Hrum is the first bija. Hrum, Jum. J-H-U-M. Jum. Saha. S-A-H-A. So, Hrum, Jum, Saha. These are the bija. And then we bring in the star, the zodiac, and the name. And then the reverse. So it becomes Saha, Jum, Hrum. So it becomes S-A-H-A, Saha, J-H-U-M, Jum, and Hrum, H-R-O-O-M. So these are the bijas, and I have put this out also on my SlideShare and Facebook, so that, and it's on YouTube also, where I have tried to do this so that people can understand these concepts. I have shared most of these concepts on my Facebook account. You just have to go and log in for Ananda Balayogi Bhavanani. And similarly, there is a SlideShare account, Bhavanani, B-H-A-B-A-N-A-N-I, Bhavanani, SlideShare account with PPTs that have all of this mantra has been put there. The techniques are there, the concepts are there. And there's also the YouTube link, which is Yognath, Y-O-G-N-A-T 2001. And what I always believe is that it is very essential that we need to share. As a human being, I think the greatest quality we have and the greatest opportunity is to share, because when you share, you are expressing your care. So sharing is caring, and sharing is caring, and it is also healing, because when we come onto this planet, we come as babies, and the first reflex that is tested is a grasping reflex. They put their little finger into the palm of the baby and it grasps. They say, wow, this will survive. And we are a race of graspers. We are constantly grasping. I want more, more, more. Now, when you want to share and when you want to give, you have to open up your hands. That is why giving is so important. Sharing, caring is so important. And that is why more than copyright, I believe in copyleft, because to me is the most important component of being human, is that we are sharing with others. Okay? So let's share, let us care, and let us be safe, be healthy, and be blessed. So with that in mind, I conclude with 3 rounds of the Mahamrityunjaya mantra. Join me. If not, just listen and enjoy these vibrations. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugundhim Pushtirvardhanam Hum Jum Saha Sarva Nakshatre Sarva Rasi Sujat Sarvanam Desya Sahajum Hum Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mokshiyamamritat Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugundhim Pushtirvardhanam Hum Jum Saha Sarva Nakshatre Sarva Rasi Sujat Sarvanam Desya Sahajum Hum Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mokshiyamamritat Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugundhim Pushtirvardhanam Hum Jum Saha Sarva Nakshatre Sarva Rasi Sujat Sarvanam Desya Sahajum Hum Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mokshiyamamritat Om. Let us wish for peace, wellness, and well-being for all beings at all levels of existence in our universe. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Sarve Janaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shantihi 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 Om. Thank you, thank you, thank you.